All right, let's go ahead and unbox it. Here we go. Why am I feeling the hype?
It's like a birthday present.
All right, moment of truth.
Hello,
Hello,
and
and
welcome
welcome back
back
to
to
the
the
Two
Two Cents
Cents
Podcast.
Podcast. I'm Hannah Williams.
And I'm James Daniels.
And today we have a super exciting episode planned for you all about one of the hottest new items on the market. James, can you guess what it is?
I'd say that it's a Labubu.
It is a Labubu. So we actually ordered a Labubu, and if you stick around till the end of this episode, we're gonna unbox it in real time with you. So we're gonna get the full Labubu experience. But I wanted to talk about Labubus not just because they're a huge recession indicator. Remember, we talked about recession indicators recently. Lipstick index. This is a clear recession indicator. We'll talk about why. We'll talk about the craze behind it, why it's so popular, and very interestingly, how people are using this as an opportunity to create new side hustles we've never seen before, and it's paying their bills.
But first, a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by the Capital One Cafe, our go-to place for community and caffeination.
And if you'd like to redeem a free handcrafted beverage of your own, make sure that you redeem it in the link below.
It's on us. Thanks again to Capital One Cafe. Now back to the episode. So if you've heard about Labubus and you have no idea what they are, you're probably really confused right now. So let's give you a background of what Labubus are, where they came from, and how they became wildly popular within the last few months. So to start off, a Labubu is a plush collective figurine. It kind of looks like a monster elf is the best way to describe it, but they've got rounded furry bodies, pointed ears, wide eyes, and my favorite part, a mischievous nine-toothed grin. 9 teeth, exactly.
9 teeth. Okay, so whenever I see monsters and if I count 10, then I know they're wrong.
They're not Labubus. Actually, I saw another TikTok that said a Labubu doesn't have a tail, but there's an equivalent that looks just like it that has a tail, and it's named something else. So it's very specific. But who created them? So Labubus were actually created in Hong Kong by an artist called Kaising Lung. I hope I pronounced that right. And he grew up actually in the Netherlands. So Lung introduced them first in his illustrated graphic novel series called The Monsters in 2015. And he actually said that Labubus are inspired by Nordic folklore. So they're kind of like elves from the fairy tales.
I could see that.
Mischievous little elves. But it wasn't until 2019 that Pop Mart, which is where you buy Labubus now, partnered with Lung to mass produce them as blind box collectibles. So they started off as kind of just like figurine collectibles, similar to the ones that you purchased, James.
Yeah.
What are yours called?
The Funko Pops.
Funko Pops. So they're kind of like Funko Pops, but when they evolved into keychains is when things hit the fan. So that was actually in 2023 was when the first keyring line launched called Exciting Macaron. So they are all kind of called something different. There's the Monsters, Exciting Macaron. The one that we bought is actually called Big Into Energy. So all the different boxes have like a different series. Yeah. And they have something unique about them. So the first one launched in 2023, and that's when they started getting wearable toy appeal. People started paying attention. But it wasn't until 2024 that sales soared globally, triggered notably by celebrity sightings and social media unboxings. More specifically, shout out to Blackpink's Lisa. Do you know who Blackpink is? Okay, well, they are a huge K-pop group. Lisa is probably one of the most famous people in the world, if not K-pop as a whole. And she had one, and that's when things hit the fan. After that, they soared like crazy, and it was mostly driven by a blind box craze and unboxing culture. You know, the unboxing, unbox this with me, unbox that with me. People started doing that with their Labubus, but not only that, they had blind boxes, meaning that you don't know what Labubu you're getting in the box. It's completely random. So it really drives up the hype.
Yeah, it gives you that surprise like opening up a present for Christmas.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get. But not only that, scarcity was a big deal. So not only did you not know which one you were getting, it became incredibly difficult to get your hands on one, period. So you know the scarcity mindset. If it's the hardest thing to get out there, it becomes way more wantable. People want to get it.
People want that. People want to be included.
Exactly. People want to be included. And also, limited editions started to drop. So not only did you have scarcity, but it was like, I need to get my hands on these because they're the only ones that exist. It was like a 1 out of 100 situation. So the value went up and just like the craze just went off the roof, off the chain. This has kind of all come to a head in 2024, and I just want to read some headlines to you because there's a lot that I could cover, but it really demonstrates how out of hand this has kind of gotten. Some of the most recent headlines we have about Labubus are viral Labubu dolls stolen from Orange County makeup store. Another one is Labubu owners are considering insuring their coveted plushies to protect toys from theft. Another one, Labubu fan issues stark warning to others as thieves do smash and grab on their car for just 3 toys inside. Those headlines all demonstrate that there is a serious craze about this, and people are stealing them. People are threatening others. They're robbing people. There was actually another story that I read recently about a Pop Mart that opened, and people were waiting outside for hours before they were allowed in. And somebody actually was robbed at gunpoint for their Labubu walking out of the store, and the store just completely shut down everything. So now a lot of stores don't even let you go in person because it's so dangerous. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of see it as the way that Pokemon cards were for a
Yep.
while there. When we see people hurry up and buying out the vending machines and stuff like that, stealing cards at events. This craze of this little collectible.
Just wanting to have that collectible. But there's a lot of money that goes into this. So, to bring it to a head, can you guess how much Pop Mart has made from Labubus in 2024?
How much they've made? I'd have to say a few million, so possibly 10 to 20.
$1.81 billion. dollars.
I highly underestimated that.
Yeah, roughly 22% of Pop Mart's entire revenue is attributable to Labubus.
That is crazy.
And even crazier is that in 2025, this year, Q1 revenue is up 170% compared to last year. So they're probably going to make more this year.
Yeah, they're definitely going to, but I mean, it makes sense when the craze of Labubu is really kicking off and people are learning how to make Labubu work for them.
Exactly. So we'll get into that in a little bit, how people are being creative about how to use Labubus, how to incorporate them into their lives, things like that. That's actually my favorite part of this conversation. But really quick, of course, we're going to talk about the transparency. How much do they cost? So we talked about how much they have generated for this company. But what's really interesting to that, and it actually demonstrates just how viral these are, is that they're not that expensive. They're about $20 to $30 each. They usually retail for about $27.99 if you get them from Pop Mart. The reason people are usually paying more than that is because they're not available at Pop Mart. They all sell out as soon as they stock up.
Yeah, so
So,
you're most likely buying them from resellers.
which is exactly what we did. You can see the verified StockX sticker on our Labubu box. I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to get it on StockX, and I believe we paid about $90 for this with shipping and everything. But it is quite a markup. They double the
Yeah.
price of that in resale. And actually, that's not even as low as people are paying because most people do not buy Labubus one off. They buy a set of 6. People
A set of
a
six.
set of 6. They try to hedge their bets. Have you not seen the unboxing video?
I thought it was 3. I didn't know that people were buying 6.
They're buying a
At,
box.
at market price, you would be spending $180,
That's
almost
exactly how much
$200.
people are spending. Yeah.
That's wild.
$180 for 6 little keychains. That's how much people are spending. And you're literally gonna pass out about this. They had a Labubu art show recently. And can you guess how much a 4-foot tall figurine, like a little life-size Labubu, can you guess how much it sold at auction?
I'll say a few grand.
$172,798.
That's again, Labubu is just blowing all my numbers out the water. This
Yep.
is crazy.
And that's not the only one that sold for 6 figures. Another 5-foot tall model sold for over $130K. The auction made over $500,000 on Labubu art.
That is wild.
Isn't that wild?
Hey, I'm about to start doing some Labubu art. That's what that means.
And that's what we're getting to. I want to talk about how can we make this work for us, the common people? How do we create jobs out of this new franchise that is launched? Some people are just blowing my mind with how creative they're being and the types of jobs that they've created out of thin air just because of this craze. So let's talk about a few of them. The most obvious job that Labubus have created is resale. And they didn't create those jobs. Resellers have been around
Yeah, they've been
since
around for a while.
forever. And they're also not my favorite, like resellers.
Yeah. But
There's
they're
a reason
also
they drive the price up.
yeah, but that's the thing is I know that they're also profiting really well off of this Labubu craze.
They sure are because people are camping out and buying all of them. Like I've seen so many videos of remember when we went to the mall and there was that vending machine that I went up to, the
Yeah,
Pop
yeah.
Mart vending machine? That's where they sell them. So you'll have people literally line up, form a line outside of these vending machines for several hours knowing that it's going to get restocked. But imagine you wait hours in that line and you know that the person who's at the front of the line who's
Is
been
gonna
there the
buy
longest
all of them.
is going to buy every single
Yeah,
one.
and that was the issue with the Pokemon cards
Yep.
things, and that or the other issue was that people who were restocking the machines, as soon as they're done restocking it, they would buy all the
Yeah.
stock. So, yeah, it's definitely become an issue with this reseller thing.
Definitely. And it's I don't really like it. That's the one job that I'm going to mention that I'm not a fan of. I understand it, but I don't like the ethical aspect of it. I don't like that it drives the price up. I don't like that it takes away from the joy of buying this item for regular people and that now we have to buy it at a higher rate. I don't mind that I had to buy mine. This was all for show, but like I saw a video of this girl who was with her daughter with her mom and she was like so excited to buy the Labubu and the guy at the front is arguing with people because they all know that he's going to buy it. And this little girl is just waiting behind him, like, what's happening? And I'm
Yeah,
like, you're stealing joy and magic from that.
yeah. I think of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory as
Mm.
a great example.
Yeah,
If a reseller would have came and bought all of those chocolate bars and then resold those at 3 times market price,
$100.
what would the movie have been like then?
Yeah, that's actually a really good concept, James. Maybe we should write a
Yeah.
script. I like
And
that.
we'll call it stock resale.
Stock resale, chocolate bar squared. But yeah, people are reselling these for $40 to $60. They managed to sell us one for $90, so there's definitely an upsell price there, and it works. You've got these rare, oversized, or limited Labubus, and those can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars.
That's wild.
Wild. So that's one way that you can make money off Labubus. But now let's talk about the kind of fun, more moral ways that you can make money off Labubus. Number one is dentists or orthodontists. And I don't know how serious this is. I think it might be more fun, but I have seen so many videos of them putting braces on real
That's
Labubus.
funny.
Yeah, like they like put the braces on and it's just an accessory bit, which people I guarantee you would pay to have a dentist do that.
Well, then take it a step further. What about Labubu grills?
Exactly, Labubu grills. That's so good. See, now you're thinking in this way of how to
Yeah.
make money off of something while utilizing the skills you already have. Well, you don't know how
Yeah,
to
I
do
don't
a
know how
grill,
to do that.
but
I
whoever
could
knows
do
how
it
to
if
do it.
need be, but yeah, if you know how to make grills, do Labubu grills.
Do Labubu grills. And that also lends itself perfectly to the other one, which is tattoo artists doing tattoos on Labubus.
Which is, I think that that's super cool. And it's
Mhm.
a smart way to be able to utilize your service as well.
Yeah, and I tried to find a little bit more information about how much people are charging for that, how much they're making, and I found a couple different ways. So, one, this tattoo artist was hosting a tattoo party where you bring your Labubu and then he would do a flash tattoo on your Labubu for $25. So, if he did, 10 of those, that's $250 right there. Easy
Which
peasy.
for him too, it makes it a lot easier because then you don't have to worry about pain or, people
Moving.
moving and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I'd rather tattoo a Labubu.
And it's a tiny tattoo as well,
Yeah.
like, and more fun. The other way that I thought was really interesting is I saw a tattoo artist who would give your Labubu a free tattoo if you came in and got a tattoo. So he's getting people in through the door, maybe getting somebody to get a tattoo that wasn't sure about it before in exchange for getting that free Labubu tattoo, which I think is
That's
genius.
really smart because you're just sacrificing maybe 10, 15 more minutes of your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have a difficult client, like you said.
Yeah.
The other one is custom clothes. Have you heard the Lizzo song, where she talks about her Labubu. She's
I
like,
heard that part where she says that like my Labubu is dressed better than you or something.
exactly. So that is a thing now is people are dressing their Labubus in like Louis and Gucci, like these made up clothes that people are just hemming, sewing on their machine and selling. Like you can buy a full outfit, you can buy an accessory.
What
I
is
even
that?
saw
What are that price like though?
those outfits can sell for over $50.
That's crazy.
It's hand sewn.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
are
hand
creating
sewn.
these,
Yeah,
or they're just using, the designs that are already created for dolls' clothes and creating like a new design for using the same, probably template and just making it a little bigger for their bodies. But
yeah,
it's not rocket science. If you know how to sew, I would absolutely be coming up with these cool little outfits. And if you think about it, it's less overhead as well because it's less material than if
yeah.
you are making regular people's clothes. You're only making it for a tiny little doll. You can make so much more with less
You
material.
buy one Gucci belt and then you stamp like 6 Labubu Gucci belts out of that.
You can make more Gucci belts
Yep,
out of one. I
yep.
love it. Yeah, maximize it. And it's also not just clothes, it's like these new items that never existed before. For example, I saw a TikTok on TikTok Shop, so you can buy this on TikTok Shop, a seat to hold your Labubu in the car, a little car seat for your Labubu.
That's wild.
Yep.
They doing a lot now.
Yeah, but it to me, I'm thinking like, you could buy items that are actually for dolls. You could even go to a yard sale and try to find old doll
Yeah,
clothes or
reclaim them.
old doll items, fix them up, and then market them as for the Labubu.
Yeah,
You could make a good amount of
at
money.
least a decent amount.
Yeah, just capitalize on the craze. And my personal favorite that I wanted to save the best for last because I think this is so unique and creative is creating nails for Labubus. Like the way, your sister Diamond
Yeah,
creates
she makes
nails
nails.
where
Yeah, press-ons.
press-ons. This lady that I found on TikTok creates press-ons for Labubus.
That's smart.
So genius. She also made a TikTok about making these nails and it went viral. So I saw her come up on my feed again and she was talking about how she was trying to keep up with all these nail orders. So I did the math. She sells them for $45. If she only sold 200 sets of Labubu nails, she would have made nearly $10,000
On Labubu.
on Labubu nails.
Not too bad.
Not too shabby. I think that is so cool. And actually, we got to interview her while we were in Chicago. So if you want to hear her experience about what it's been like to create nail sets for Labubus, stay tuned to the end of this episode and we'll be sharing it there. And before we move on, I do want to mention that I forgot one that is a brand new item that I've never seen before because it's one thing to be like, oh, a chair for my Labubu in the
Right.
car or my clothes for my Labubu. But have you seen the cases that hold Labubus?
No, I haven't.
People are so obsessed with keeping their Labubus clean that they have clear custom cases that you can buy to put your Labubu in. So when it's hanging off your bag, it's in like this
It's
clear
protected.
plastic case. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that never existed before Labubus came
Yeah.
around. So whoever came up with that design and probably copyrighted it or trademarked it, genius.
Yeah, I do have one honorable mention because although I don't get a lot of Labubu content, and for the longest I actually didn't get Labubu content, I have been getting one, and it's this lady, and what she does is I'm not sure if it's her who's done both videos because I've actually seen 2 videos of it now, but they'll do their Labubu's body. So
What do you
like
mean? Oh, like the butt?
a
Yeah, I've
BBL
seen that. Yes.
and boobs for your Labubu. And then the last video I seen, she did a BBL, a tummy tuck, and boobs for her
Oh my
Labubu. Yeah.
gosh. I wonder if she charges for that.
I don't know, but somebody's definitely walking around with a Labubu with a better body than other Labubus.
That's disrespectful. Disrespectful to the Labubu
Right.
community.
Exactly.
That's so funny though. I just think that's so interesting how people are like using this craze and capitalizing on it. I mean, why not, right? If there's a way that you can utilize the skills you already have and apply it to something that people are excited about, that they're willing to pay more or less the same amount for the same service, you should absolutely capitalize on it.
Yeah. Now with that, that makes me curious as to what's the I guess you want to call it the male version of Labubu,
Ooh, good
um,
question.
that people are going to start looking forward to now. Because Pokemon
Ooh.
cards kind of was that, but now I think that people have moved past Pokemon cards. But I have a feeling that if Labubu's making such a, a craze right now, other people are going to see that this is an opportunity to fill a gap in the market
Mm-hmm.
and take advantage of that. You
Absolutely.
could be the one that create that.
What would you buy with as much enthusiasm as a Labubu?
You want to think something just as simple as a keychain or something like that, lipstick index. Something that's not going to break the bank, but then also something I can take everywhere with me. I wouldn't do a weapon, but I would still do something somewhat small to show off like your love for whatever,
A
whether it be a
car.
car or a motorcycle or something like that. But maybe even like little car keychains
What
that are
about a Labubu for your motorcycle?
I would buy a Labubu for my motorcycle, to be
Right? You
honest.
could buy a motorcycle outfit for your Labubu.
I don't want that.
I will buy it for you because we have a Labubus.
All I'm thinking is assless chaps and a half and a half helmet.
I mean, your Labubu can go get a BBL, so the assless chaps would look really good.
Actually, I think I'm gonna do all of that combination. We got this Labubu. Let me see what
Let's
this one looks
unbox
like.
it. Let's do it. Let's unbox the Labubu and see if we feel anything any happier after this.
I think I'm still gonna pay for the BBL for it.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and unbox it. ASMR. So what I've seen people do when they unbox their Labubu is they look at the type on the side and then they basically say which one they want. So this is the Big Into Energy. So the ones that we might get are a pink one called Love, a blue one called Hope, a green one called Serenity. That's the one I think I want. A pink and yellow one called Loyalty, an orange one called Happiness, a purple one called Luck, and then a secret Labubu.
Ooh,
Which one do you
I
want to
want the
get?
secret.
You want the secret?
Yeah,
I want Serenity. I want the green one. Okay, so we set our expectations very high, very low odds that we get what we want. Let's see how we do. And apparently, you can actually tell what it is inside, so you have to like, don't look at the
I'm
inside.
taking a look.
Oh, here we go. Why am I feeling the hype? Like,
It's
it's
like
so easy.
it's like a birthday present.
All right, moment of truth.
Oh, we got the
We
yellow one.
got the pink and yellow one. We got
Loyalty,
loyalty.
loyalty, loyalty, loyalty.
Aww. Wait, it's cute. So here we go. She's nice and flurry. Oh, she's kind of squishy.
Labubu.
Labu labu, labu boo.
It's smaller than I thought. Like I
Mm.
thought that the body would be bigger. It's got a yellow tooth though. Almost got a grill.
Oh, you're right. It has one little tooth.
Now you have to spend all the money to get the accessory stuff.
Exactly. And now it's like, I want all the accessories. Now I want to try again and get Serenity. I want to try to get the secret one. This is a slippery slope. But okay, we have a Labubu. Are our lives changed?
I like to think that it's still the same. Just add a Labubu.
Just add a Labubu. Exactly. We're still walking through life as depressed, but at least we have a cute keychain.
Right. Or at least you have a cute keychain.
Right. No, the assless chaps. We're putting Serenity
I
or
want
loyalty on
I
your bike.
want my own actually because this
You
one,
want your own
yeah,
now. Oh, we
because
should have got the box.
it's a black one, and I think that was
Yeah, it
pretty
is a
cool.
black one. So that about wraps it up for this episode, the economics of Labubus. I thought that was pretty interesting to learn, how much they actually make Pop Mart and then the different ways people are making money off of them too.
Yeah, people are so creative and being able to take advantage of this lipstick index, these recession indicators and still be able to profit from them and find a way to be able to profit from them. Kudos to you.
But we want to hear from you. What are your 2 cents? Do you think Labubus are creepy or cute? Let us know in the comments, and we'll have a poll going on Spotify too if you're listening to us over there. And if you have a Labubu, we want to see a picture of it.
Yeah, send in your Labubus. We definitely want to see them.
Send in your pictures. We want to see how you're accessorizing your Labubu, how you're making it work, and if you have made money off of Labubus in any which way, shape, or form, we'd love to hear from you too. How are you making this work for you?
And thanks for listening. We really appreciate you guys taking the opportunity to hear us out.
Yeah, and thanks for joining us in our home. We are kind of in a transitionary period right now where we're trying to figure out our new studio. So hopefully this was a fun little comfortable feel. and we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Hazel, what do you do for a living?
So I'm a nail artist and I make Labubu press-on nails on the side.
Oh my gosh. How much do you make as a nail artist and selling nails for Labubus?
So for my nail life, I make around, I have 6 clients a day and I do them it ranges from $60 to $80 per client. And per week, I do it around 5 times a week. So I think it ranges from 75,000 to 90,000 a year.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the Labubu nails, I actually recently just started it, and I sell each one around $45. They're very detailed, they're very small, like it's really hard to get into the crevices and make a really good French tip.
Yeah.
But I think I've made around $5,000 to $6,000 just from starting in June 1st. So
Amazing. What got you into doing nails for Labubus? Where did the inspiration come from?
So it's actually kind of funny. It wasn't even my idea. It was my client, Abby. Shout out to her. She is so sweet. She gets really long, extravagant nails, and she just got a Labubu. And she was like, hey, I got this doll, and I was wondering if you could put nails on it. And I was like, you know what? I'll be able to do anything. Like, I'm pretty, versatile, and I can do those things. So I was like, I'll give it a try. I posted a little video, and that's when it really went off.
I know it went viral. It showed up on my For You page. I reached out to you. I just think it's so cool and innovative. Like, and you've made $5,000. Where are you selling them?
So I'm selling them through Etsy right now, and some of them I do like personally. Like, they come to me to drop off their Labubu doll, and then once they're ready, I like give them back to them. But yeah,
you should do like a special, like you get a client, but you get a discount on the Labubu nail.
That's really smart. No, I should. I was even thinking about doing like a little pop-up thing at my suites because we have like a bunch of workers there. So I think it would be really cool.
What does it take to become a nail artist? Like, what's the educational background you had to go through to become one?
So I obviously practice. Just everyone's art is different. So I always say, like, no one is perfect. Everyone is their own artist. Even if it's not good for some people, everyone has their opinion.
Yeah.
But I practiced a lot, and also inspiration from different artists, like bigger artists around. And I went to nail school too. So they helped me express like different parts of art that I didn't even think I was into. So it was really fun.
I love that. How long does nail school take in general?
It takes around... It's 350 hours in Illinois. It varies from state to state. But it took me around a year because I did it part-time since I was already taking clients in kind of consistently while going to school. Yeah. So it took me around like a year to complete it, but people can definitely finish it earlier.
Nice. And do you mind sharing how much it costs if you remember? Like, what is the cost of nail school?
I believe it was around $5,000. That could still range because some people go to like more prestigious schools. I already kind of had my background, so I was like, hey, you know what? Like, I'll just go to like a cheaper school and just get it done, get my license, because that was the most important thing to me, to keep my clients safe.
What advice would you share with others who are, young, they're in school or in college and they don't know what they want to do, but they might be interested in this career path? What next steps would you advise them to take?
I would say really lean into the things that you love and make you happy. To not try to be another artist you see online. Do your own style. Lean into what you like to do instead of trying to copy someone else's. Because sometimes you can't compare. Comparison is the joy of thief. Is that
thief of joy?
The thief of joy.
Absolutely.
And so don't compare yourself and just create your own style. Genuinely, don't be scared of it. I feel like it is kind of scary having to buy a bunch of materials, but at the same time, it's worth it at the end. Just keep going, even if it looks scary on the other side. It's worth it at the end.
That's a good follow-up question. How much does it cost to start? Like, you have to buy that equipment. What's like the investment?
I would say it's kind of expensive, but it's worth it to get the more expensive products to give quality to your clients instead of cheapening out and then they don't stay as long, and like this is your work that people are going to stay with for around 2 weeks to a month.
What do you not like most about being a nail tech? What are some of the cons that people might not know about?
I would say it's hard because I love it. You always have to love what you do. But at the same time, following trends is very difficult sometimes.
I'm sure also maybe like shoulder pain, like finger pain, arthritis.
Oh yeah, the pain of being a nail tech, just sitting in a chair for around, I take a lot of clients in a day, so I'm there for like 6 to 10 hours sometimes just doing clients. My neck, my vision, especially with these tiny little nails, like my vision gives out a little bit. Like
it gets blurry.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I just have to like lay on a hardwood floor and just look up because my neck and my back and everything is hurting me.
Yeah.
Even my hands cramp up. I can't hold an umbrella for super long because it starts to hurt.
Yeah,
But,
literally.
yeah.
Wait, I'm the same way, but it's because
Yeah.
of holding a phone all the time. Like I'm
Yeah,
getting
literally.
arthritis.
I know. I feel like I'm gonna get carpal tunnel if I
Yeah.
keep doing this stuff. But that's the beauty of it. Like
We do it for the passion.
exactly.
Where can people find you and where can they buy your Labubu nails?
So my Instagram handle is nailed by Hazel, and same thing with my Etsy account. It's gonna be nailed by Hazel, and Instagram also nailed by Hazel,
And your TikTok too.
and TikTok too. Yes.
Thank you, Hazel.